Now we head to 184 pounds. Freshman Jerome Ward for the Cyclones up against junior Phil Keddy. Phil Keddy, an All-American, ranked 3rd in the nation right now. Jerome Ward being the freshman, not ranked.
84, really a tough weight class. And you take a look at Keddy's improvement over last year. He just really came on in the back half of the season. Just started, getting tougher and just competing. And, he's in the quarterfinals of the national tournament last year, and he's got a lead against the national champion. He was that close to beating the national champion in the quarters and lost it on a takedown with about 20 seconds, actually with about 10 seconds left.
Yeah, and if you watch that, he actually did hip heist up out of that. They gave the takedown on the landing, and you can do that on the edge.
But his season went from probably, ended up being a low place All-American. His season went from being not an All-American to being competitive with the NCAA champions and
to being in the All-Star meet this year in preseason. I mean,
his improvement has been steady
and winning.
Yeah,
and beating a guy that had beat him 5-0 2 years ago. So exactly what you're saying.
So now he's got an opportunity. He's never won a match in this Iowa State duel. He had to go against Varner.
Jake Varner, 2-time NCAA finalist, is up at 197. We'll see him in the next match, but Phil Keddy gets a chance to not have to wrestle Jake and
go up against a freshman.
Make his mark here in this historic and always exciting showdown between Iowa State and Iowa. We're here at Carver Hawkeye Arena. I'm Tim Johnson along with Jim Gibbons and Dan Gable, bringing you the showdown between the #1 and 2 ranked teams in America. Iowa, #1 ranked, out in front 17-8 over the #2 ranked Cyclones. We're at 184 pounds.
And this is where it'll be a little bit different for Phil Keddy here in this season. Now he's the top higher rated wrestler, and you've got wrestlers that are going out just basically like Ward is doing here, holding good position, keeping it close. Kind of doing what he had to do his freshman and sophomore year to get competitive, and now you really have to try to break through a guy's head-hands defense, and Ward's keeping pretty good position.
Right, he's having trouble.
Yeah.
Keddy is having trouble with ties, I can see. Usually he has a little stronger tie than his opponent, and so far in this match, he's had difficulty with getting control.
Ward was a 2-time state champion in Illinois from Evergreen Park at St. Rita High School, redshirt freshman.
Ward pretty well schooled here, coming inside of Keddy's tie. See, each time Ward comes to the inside, has an opportunity to drive through.
Good action, keep it going.
Here's where Keddy's strong here. When he gets the underhook with that left arm, that's where he's really gets confident and drives through. So good period for Ward. Going neutral on the feet.
Into the first period, another 0-0 first period.
Your call, bud. Defers over, green.
Ward
Green
defers,
down.
and
Green chooses down.
Iowa Keddy
Green
chooses
lock in,
down
right?
to start the second period.
In
You're
the
looking at him,
middle,
Phil
elbow
Keddy,
left and hold it. Ready.
out of Vernal, Utah.
Nice job.
Wow, whoa, good speed action there. Keddy comes out for the escape. He goes up 1-0.
I like to
point
see
for
that.
escape.
I like to see that, Tim, when you get a guy that just blows up out there and gets right up to his feet. He's up to his feet by the time he gets to the middle part of that black circle. Drives all the way through, and it's tough to stop.
Ward's really keeping the head position on him.
Yeah.
Which I don't think Keddy's used to.
Just came right up to his feet, kicks out, keeps moving.
Ready.
Ward's keeping his head right in there, and he's not moving his head out of the way.
Well, if you notice, Dan, he's just coming inside of Keddy's tie every time. Yeah, he's got the.
Keddy's on the outside on the tie, so if he needs to get to the inside, that would help a little bit. But
Keddy reaches.
See how people
Ward
adapt.
comes underneath.
But it's one thing to be able to keep Keddy from getting into you, and it's another thing for getting into Keddy. So he's got to do a whole lot more, because I think Keddy can hold his own against this style any time of the day.
No
Because
doubt about
he's just so tough.
Except Ward does have a good double leg, which he shot one time earlier. which, if you're not ready, he could catch you off guard there. So there hasn't really been a lot of moves, except for just a lot of.
Whoa, nice.
That was the first move in the match.
Single leg. Whoa,
Wow.
nice.
So
athletic move by Ward.
But it's the first time that Keddy was able to get on the inside.
Well,
once he got on the inside, he got to his shot.
Well, he showed what he could do there.
Yeah. I think both wrestlers showed what they could do there.
Yeah.
That was a good flurry. 0-0 or 1-0 on the escape by Keddy. Ward will have his chance. Warning for stalling on Iowa State's Ward.
I think it's mostly the head burying, and there's just a little bit of inactivity as compared to Keddy's doing a little more moving with the head like that.
Jerome Ward, just a tough guy to get off of his feet.
Into the second period, 1-0 in favor of Phillip Keddy, the Hawkeye, over Jerome Ward for the Cyclones. But Ward goes down for the first time. Just have a sense that he might have a little bit of explosion himself.
We'll certainly find out here.
Not like Keddy's.
Well, he came up with his butt a little bit.
And all Iowa State wrestlers have been doing that. They come up with their rear end first, and then now they're in a situation where you're hand fighting here, and you really conceded the hips.
1 point escape. Keddy gives it up when he sees that he was in danger of actually being reversed.
From a switch.
Now here's where that 15,000
995.
955 end up really having an impact.
Period 3. This match has gone quick.
Really has.
I can't remember much of it.
Wow.
He caught him off his own move. Shot a low double, whipped him to his butt, and he kind of lost track of where he was at, and he kind of gave it up. If he'd have kicked out like he scrambled before, but he just kind of looked stunned. Lost. Yeah.
He looked stunned, and it's because Keddy stopped him in his tracks. It was a great defense turned to offense by Keddy.
Well, that's strategy-wise. When you're sitting there, you get that first stalling call on the guy, and you're marching him back. You know he's got to come. You know he's got to come with his best shot.
Especially when you got a warning.
Yep, you get that warning, and be aware that you got an opportunity for some short offense when Ward takes the shot.
It still comes down to a takedown for Ward, who's winning for Iowa State. Does he know where he's at? Keddy does. He's up 3-2.
Well, if he's thinking, I'm not sure. He's got to be thinking scoring again and staying in good position at the same time. But
double leg shot. He's got an opportunity. He's got in there and stopped. This is a scoring position for Keddy. Locks up the cradle potentially, but
15 seconds left in the match.
Lost that grip.
I don't know about you, Dan, but Ward showed me some athletic ability out here. He's presented himself, spent most of the match in the center.
Keddy was Keddy, and he wins 3-2. And he gets his first win, as you talked about, Jim, in this big series.
Well, maybe not the way he would have liked it, but he goes forward all the time. He's got a lot of guts. He's able to stop him here. Just spin right around behind him and get the 2, and that was the difference in the match.
That makes the score Iowa 20, and Iowa State 8.